Okay, I'm just gonna get started. Okay, we're glad to see everyone again today. We want to thank you all for coming. My name is Hailey, and beside me is Jose. Today we hope that we can really move forward together. Before we get started, we want to remind everyone on our ground rules. What is said in the group is to remain confidential, no interrupting one another. Please use this time to actively listen while other members are talking. By doing so, this will establish great trust between one another. Moving forward, please be sure to abide by the CDC guidelines. And this is just if we were to be in person, so keep this in mind, that we will be staying 6 feet apart had we be doing an in-person group. It is in your best interest that we follow this. We don't have to close due to COVID-19 requirements. That said, let's get started. For our opening activity, Jose and I would like to take some time to know how everyone's doing with the previous sessions that we have done so far. Please take turns going around the room and give us an update on how everything's going and if you have any concerns or worries that you would like to address during this session.
I got nothing that's like definitely new. I have been like taking this time to reflect, and like I hope that reminded than I was in session 2. Like with a goodbye letter, like I'm embarrassed of my behavior in that session. So like I just want to formally apologize to the group. And like that's all I have to say for like the beginning part here.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And I know that this time is super hard on all of us, so you're not alone. And the behavior in the past sessions is forgotten about, and we're all about moving forward. And in this session, we're gonna work towards our goals. So anything that happened in the past sessions, let's go ahead and put those aside, and we're gonna work together.
Ready to move on.
Absolutely. Okay, so is there anything else anybody else would like to address before we get started?
In the last session, I expressed some concerns about school being online and just that I was having a hard time with my grades. And I was actually given resources to reach out to a counselor, and that has been really helpful for me.
That's awesome, Molly. And actually today for our activity, we're going to be working on some of our educational goals or things at home that we have achieved so far and that we wish to keep moving forward with. So keep those strengths in mind and feel free to share that when we get to our activity today.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you everyone who has shared your thoughts. We know it is and can be tough to talk about personal struggles in a group setting. We appreciate all of you for participating thus far, and throughout this session, as your leaders, it is with great desire that we help each of you achieve the goals that you have set for yourself, but we also want to find a solution to your problems. Please use this group as a great resource to bounce ideas off of one another. Let's dive in a little deeper, and for our next activity, we want you all to use our structured group to establish yourselves a little further.
For our second activity, we'll start off by handing out worksheets and have you guys write down your upcoming assignments or other academic requirements and prioritize them in order of importance from 1 to 5. This will help you all strategize when determining your goals. Upon writing down your assignments, feel free to list any personal interest. Hailey Hailey will put the worksheet on the screen so you guys can take a good look at it.
Can you guys see this worksheet here?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So take time and write down some goals that you guys have. We'll give you some time for you guys to be able to do that, and upon completion, you guys can let us know what you have written down.
And guys, use this time to really think about all of the academic things that you guys have to do and all the things that you've achieved so far. So whether that be your finals coming up or you have a large paper to write, what are your biggest concerns educational wise that maybe would be easier if we were in person in school, or what has been harder to achieve when it comes to your finals that, the pandemic has kind of pushed you guys further away from doing?
Would anyone like to start off by sharing what they have written down?
Oh my God, math. Like, I have a test on linear equations coming up for algebra, and this is like priority, like number 5, like top level, like priority. And this has been extra stressful for me because I've always needed extra help in math. And I like would always benefit from having an in-person tutor, like just somebody to stare with me. And like I really would like just try to like come up with like some idea to like figure out how to get around that. Like, how am I gonna like do good on my linear equation test? Like, because I want at least a B is my goal. It's like not like an A, not top marks, but I'm hoping for a B. And that's like what I wanted to share.
Great. So I believe that something that can help you out would be getting together with a tutor. I know with the pandemic going on, everything dealing with face-to-face can be difficult, but I believe that Chesapeake College is working around it. So they are able to find you a tutor. You can either meet with them through Zoom, or I'm not sure if face-to-face is going on right now, but me and Hailey will both find more information about that for you, and we will send that to you as soon as we're able to do so.
Thank you. Like, I have to do good on this test. I am so worried about it.
No
Samantha,
worries.
I'm going through the same thing you are. And I can privately reach out to you and just show you a couple resources that I have for tutors and stuff and just some extra online help because I struggle with math too.
Thank you.
Yeah, math's one of my worst subjects, and I've had to like go on YouTube and watch videos on how to do certain things because a lot of times I can't. The times that my teacher has pushed to the side are times that I'm working or doing something else. So I don't have the time to like get on there with her for her to tutor me. So I have to find other ways to do it. So if there's any, specific topic that we can relate on in math, I can send you YouTube videos that I've found that have helped me.
Nice. So my goals, I guess, would just be like trying to figure out if I can get a tutor, or if not, like just using YouTube videos to help me with my math test.
Yeah, Samantha, and like Shelby said, a lot of times you can find information or help online. I know that YouTube comes in handy a lot. I know that I get a lot of information from YouTube my own self.
I didn't even think about that until like right now. Like that's like super like a great idea. So like, thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah, and guys, going off of our goal for this session was for you guys to bounce ideas off of one another, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. So I want you guys to know that our knowledge is socially constructed. So we learn off of those around us and how they perceive things. So if Samantha doesn't understand one thing and maybe Shelby might, this is your time to work together and lean on one another to achieve these goals, because we are in a pandemic and things aren't as available as we would like those to be. So use your peers and use those around you to really lean on, because something that you might understand, somebody else will. Just don't forget about those around you.
And you guys can also work outside of this group session. For instance, Samantha, you can get help from Molly outside of here, or with Shelby. You guys, like Hailey said, can always work together, and that's what we're here for. So thank you, Shelby and Molly, for your resources. Would anybody else like to share with us what they wrote down?
I think for me, we're coming up on finals, so it is kind of the end of the semester, and I have a lot going on. And what's hard for me is I feel like I have a lot of really important things on my list, but for me, I'm struggling finding some like downtime for myself to relax and like an activity to do. And I think that that's a concern for me, is like finding time so I don't get overwhelmed.
Right. And you having a lot of work can definitely be stressful. I think that finding time, at least an hour or two, to yourself to do what you want is very, very important, and it can calm you down. Um, so you don't, at the same time, you want to worry about your finals, but at the same time, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. I think it is important for you to find some time to find to yourself and get your head together. Um, and also what can help you is being around people. If you have friends or family that you like to be around a lot, um, you know, finding time to spend with them can definitely ease your mind. And also being here, you can talk to us about any problems that you have and that you would want to talk about, and we're more than happy to help you out.
I found this group is a really positive resource to find others that have been going through the same thing as me. So this has helped a lot. So thank you.
Of course. Anybody else want to discuss what they wrote down, or anything else?
So mine was really like the same as Molly. Just finals coming up, and then like time management, I guess you would call it, because I always find time for like work and my finals, but then sometimes I catch myself like not finding time for myself, just like she said, like I'll do all my homework and I'll make sure it's all done on time, but then by the time I'm done with that and finished with work, I'm just going to bed. Like I'm waking up, work, school, bed. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're just in a cycle, and especially during finals week, because you don't have as much time between these assignments. Like this week is just jammed with different finals for each class. I feel like it's really tough, so I can definitely see like where she's coming from with that.
Right. And you can look at it in a positive way. I know that finals week can be crazy. We've all been through there, and we're all going through it at the same time. But look at the light down the tunnel. After this week, you won't have to worry about it for about a month or so, until you start your next semester. You'll have more time to yourself. You will still have to work, I'm assuming. But other than that, you will have more time to yourself. So, just do your best to get through this. Don't overwhelm yourself. And like I told Molly, find an hour or two to focus on yourself and do what you have to do. I think that's very important for your mental health as well.
Is it all right if I share or no?
Oh, of course, Ben. Go ahead.
I've just been thinking about all the positives and trying to block out all the negatives. I think we all got a lot of good things going for us right now, and we're all in the same boat. And I've just been looking at the future and knowing good things are coming. So I'm under the same stress as you guys. I've just been trying to keep that positive attitude and move forward. But just so you guys know, I'm in the same boat.
Definitely. And that's the perfect way to look at it, Ben. Look at the bright side. Think about, why you're doing everything that you're doing now. Everything will pay off.
Right. And guys, going off of what Jose is saying, all of you are really expressing signs of client burnout. So I don't know if you guys have heard of that before, but we like to call it burnout, when you do too much that your body and your mind just are all over the place, and you're wearing yourself out to little to nothing. So even though it's finals week and we all have a job and there's a lot going on because of the pandemic, finding something that makes you happy and finding at least 20 minutes of your day to focus, whether that be going outside and sitting outside in the warm weather for 10 minutes, or drawing a picture, like things like that to help you calm yourself down, are really good ways to get your mind back on the right track. So use those resources and, take that with you into our next session when we meet next week, and think of ways that, you calm yourself down in ways that make you happy, and start to use those, because once you start to balance yourself out between, all of your work and taking the time for yourself, you'll begin to really develop this feeling that you're on the right track and that you're doing okay, and you'll realize that you're not going to be getting burnout as easily as you were before. So just keep that in mind and use those when you move forward.
All right. Would anybody else like to share before we move to our next activity?
Well, like the learning about the burnout thing, it's very insightful, I think, because I didn't really like put it together. Like we have been under like a lot of stress. So us just, burning out, like Hailey described, like it just like really just it clicks for me now.
Definitely put like a name to it, like a name to what I'm feeling.
Definitely. And we all experience it. Me and Hailey both have have come to a time where we have felt the same way, but we it's always about getting through it. And once you get through it, and also like I mentioned before, taking time to yourself helps you clear your mind and recharge, as others would call it. All right, so moving on to our next our next
activity.
Sorry, I froze. So next we ask you to write down 2 realistic academic goals and 1 personal goal that you wish to achieve. Using the calendar provided, in which Hailey will pull up, create a game plan for how you wish to achieve these goals. After doing so, discuss any barriers that might get in the way of accomplishing the goals that you have selected and how you can overcome them. Think about how you feel when you do achieve them. Will you feel excited, less stressed, or overwhelmed? So let's take some time to write down these personal goals, and we'll get back to you in a little bit. All right. Would anybody like to start off by sharing what they wrote down?
So for my timeline, I think that it's like a realistic goal would be to try to I have a packet for my linear algebra test and like the couple problems on it. I think it would be like a good idea to go on YouTube and find some like videos about that. And I'll have a goal to have that done by Friday, and definitely feel overwhelmed about that. But like after talking to you guys, I definitely feel like better. A barrier would be just like not having that comfort of the in-person teaching.
Correct. So that's a very important barrier. Is there, in your mind, do you see anything that would help you overcome that barrier?
Zoom in with my classmates about it, like reaching out to Molly or Shelby, and I think that would like really help me.
And how do you think you will feel once you do overcome that barrier?
I would feel awesome. Like definitely my anxieties would be settled, I think.
Good. That's definitely what we want for you to feel like. We don't want you to feel stressed. This is the whole point of coming to this group meetings. We want to be able to help you overcome things of that nature and help you achieve your goals.
So this whole school year has been like about overcoming, obstacles. So I definitely would be willing to like help Samantha out in that aspect, because I've been where she is and I still kind of am where she is. But if she would want to set up like a Zoom, she can always text me. I'll just give her my phone number after class so we can talk about it. That way you guys can keep going with the rest of the group. But I just wanted to let her know that I am willing to do that.
Thank you, Shelby.
Thank you, Shelby. And yes, we highly appreciate whenever you guys bounce off ideas and help each other out in this group.
Yeah, and guys, don't feel like it's a human instinct to feel like we need to achieve goals in a certain time frame. Don't compare yourself to somebody else because they're moving faster than you are, or you feel like you're moving at a slower pace. We all move differently. Your goals, they're not going to be achieved in a day. They're not going to be achieved in a week. They're going to take some time. So once you come to understand that and you come to accept that is when you'll really start to flourish and move forward. But just keep your eye on what I like to call the prize, and you'll get there.
That's really helpful because like a lot of my like classmates and friends that I have in like school, they're like, oh, I've already turned in all my finals and I'm still like formatting, and maybe one thing I have like another paragraph to write, or I have one more test to do. So I was feeling that I was like really behind everybody else, but it's all not due to the 11th. So really I still have a week to get it done, but comparatively to all my peers, I felt like I was behind. So it does make me feel better that you're giving me the feedback to say just take your time and take until the 11th to make sure you just do it right.
Yeah, because Shelby, so like similar to me, like I have a lot of friends who they just are kind of like naturally on it, and they're a lot ahead, they're more ahead of me. And I think why this activity is really helpful is so I have a really big paper due coming up soon. And instead of sitting and rushing through it to try and, catch up to my peers, I think it would be better for me to like break it down and do a couple pages a day and take my time. And I think like it's the same for you. Like you shouldn't feel pressure. You should give like quality work instead of rushing yourself. And I think that this activity will help me a lot with that, so I can break down days and stuff to do that.
Definitely. Like Hailey said before, don't compare yourself to other people. Work at your own pace. Eventually, it's better for your work to be well done rather than rushed. And it is important for you guys to take your time. Don't just throw everything on your shoulders at once. Take your time and, work through it. And if there's anything that we can help you with, just let us know. That's what we're here for. Is there anybody else that would like to discuss anything? All right, so we know how much the pandemic has affected education for all of us. Seeing each of you put forth effort to achieving your educational and personal goals is amazing work, because the big pandemic does not allow for many of us to work in person. Coming together to meet within these sessions will soon pay off when it comes time to achieving your goals. We would like to say great work to everyone in this group.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and guys, I know we said this a lot, but before we go ahead and close out, is there anything someone wants to address or something that's been weighing on their mind throughout this session that they want to get off their chest before we close? Okay, well, on that note, you all have done a great job today. Let's keep in mind our ground rules. Whatever was said during the session is to remain confidential, even if to you it may not seem as serious. We are really glad each of you opened up and expressed your thoughts and concerns that may affect your ability to achieve your educational or personal goals. However, we know that all of you are fully capable of achieving these goals and can't wait to follow up and catch back up with you guys next week. Until then, we want to leave you all with a closing question. How did this activity make achieving your goals more meaningful? That could be, things you didn't realize, like when I told you guys about burnout. Are you guys going to take that into consideration? Like things like that. Like think about how that made you guys feel as far as when you guys do come to achieving those goals that you have set for yourself. And in what ways has a pandemic interfered with your ability to achieve these goals? And that could be just not being in person, or not being able to learn through a computer. So go ahead and think about these over the next week, and we will follow up with you at the start of our next session. So we'll see you all soon. Thank you.